Good evening and welcome to Political Hardtalk. My name is Papa Ekins. Tonight, I have the chairman of the NPP, UK and Ireland, Mr. ATA-KRUFFI, HAYFORD. Please welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
You jetted back to Ghana, the land of your ancestors, and you just came in back again a couple of weeks ago. You attended the National Delegates Conference in Takoradi. How successful was that conference?
Thank you very much for that. It was a very, very successful conference. A very defining one in that, it was at the conference that we had the opportunity for us as a political party to say goodbye together to our president, a certain president who has given us 2 terms in office. And it is also an opportunity to welcome in the next leader, who is also going to be the next president of the Republic of Ghana. And not only that, to also outdoor his running mate, who had been appointed just a few days before that time to complement the ticket. And then again, we had opportunity to have a preview of the manifesto of the party that is going to take us in the next coming years. So it was a very, very defining conference, and the atmosphere there was really, really great. So it was a very electrifying one.
There was these kangaroo dances around it. What have you? Do you think those kangaroo dances will usher you into the next presidential, let's say, would that be enough for you to win the
Well, no, well, it is not about kangaroo dance. That dance, that is just a gesture to show that we're moving forward. Moving your hands forward is just a gesture, and it is, it's part of the slogan of the party, that we're moving Ghana forward into the next phase and moving towards the meeting of the Millennium Development Goals. So it's not just a kangaroo dance, but it's a gesture to move Ghana forward.
Use the ATA-KRUFFI as a popular slogan some years back. Now you're using the kangaroo dance. Why not policies but dancing?
No, the ATA-KRUFFI wasn't a policy. It was because when the Electoral Commission's list came, President Kufuor, the then candidate Kufuor, unfortunately or fortunately or whatever, was put at the very bottom of the list. So we had to quickly devise the ATA-KRUFFI to indicate to our supporters that when you get a list, look down there, ATA-KRUFFI, that is where J.A. Kufuor would be, and that is why ATA-KRUFFI came. This is moving forward. That gesture indicates that we're moving forward. The thing about it is the Black Stars had, before our gesture moving forward, had actually done the kangaroo dance, every time they scored during the CAN 2008. So that had sort of become the name of that dance, but we didn't call it kangaroo dance. Maybe it's those who originated it that called it the kangaroo dance. But ours is just a gesture to show that we're moving forward.
Seriously, I'm talking about policies.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about dancing and slogans. What policies do you have in your manifesto now? What policies?
The manifesto was launched, and it was accepted as a working document, and it is going to be made available to all Ghanaians in the coming days. But clearly, if you look at the manifesto, we have 4 broad thematic areas which encapsulate the policy of the New Patriotic Party under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. As you may know, we started with the Agenda for Positive Change, Part 1, between 2001 and 2004, and we went for the Part 2. Now, the new manifesto is moving Ghana forward, and the 4 thematic areas. The first one, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says that when he comes, his first policy is to deepen the democracy that we are enjoying today. So the deepening of democracy is the first element of our policy. And if you look at the manifesto, there are details of it underneath where we're showing you institutions that we are going to strengthen and deepen as part of moving the nation forward. Then the second aspect of it is modernizing our society. Of course, if we want to move our democracy forward, and we want to move Ghana forward, then we need to modernize the Ghanaian society so that it will be a society of the 21st century or a society of the new millennium. So that is one aspect of the policy which maybe at the right opportunity we will break down and explain to you what is involved in the modernization of our society. And then the third element is transforming the economy. I mean, if you look at the economy that we inherited in the year 2000, virtually non-existent. And President Kufuor has gradually, through prudent management, been able to stabilize the economy. Now that the economy is stabilized, the next step is to move it forward, to transform it. And that is the third arm of our policy, transforming the economy so that we'll be able to achieve the Millennium Development Goal. And the fourth aspect of it is regional and international integration. Of course, you wouldn't have a former foreign minister now aspiring to become a president of Ghana and not translate the achievement that he has been able to have within the foreign ministry into a reality for Ghana. So how we as Ghanaians can sit in the committee of the ECOWAS, the AU, and the international community is also the fourth element of our policy. So it's got very, very deep policies in our manifesto when it comes out.
Can you spell out your privatization policy in the manifesto? Will you prioritize more companies? Will you
well, I mean, I wouldn't say that we will privatize more companies, because you see, if you look at the Ghana privatization policy, it's been late since 1995. You know, the companies that were put on divestiture right through the NDC time. It really depends on the company's ability to recapitalize itself, to reinvent itself, and to meet the aspirations of Ghanaians in terms of production, in terms of employment. So it really depends on which company is able to move. So you cannot come in with that blanket policy that we're going to privatize. But of course, we will support businesses, we will support industries to be able to stand on their own. If there is a need for recapitalization, we would do that. For example, what has been done to the Ghana Telecom, you know, the recapitalization, bringing in partners so that they can move it forward. So yes, if there are companies, if there are industries that need that kind of support, the government will do everything to support them, but we're not going to come with a blanket policy that we're going to privatize company A or B or C.
Many experts have predicted that this election is not going to be a one-off election. Many say that it's definitely going to go to the second round. Do you believe in that? Do you think you have a one-touch win? Do you believe in winning this election without going to the second round?
Well, I believe we will win the election. There is no doubt about that. I mean, I have been to Ghana. I have been on the campaign trail, and I have listened to people. I have traveled far and wide, you know, in the country, and I've spoken to people, and I know that people are in tune with the fact that we have been able to stabilize the economy. We've been able to, you know, enhance democracy, and therefore we need to be given the opportunity to continue. Of course, I wouldn't be able to sit here and predict that it's going to be 50%, 60% or whatever. I mean, these days in Ghana, opinion polls come day in, day out, you know, and therefore I'm not an expert in that area. But one thing that I can tell you for certain is that from the indications that I've had since I've been in Ghana, we are going to win the election, no doubt about that.
You're going to win the election?
We will win the election, no doubt about that.
Last week, I had Mr. Alex Segwefia, the campaign manager for ATA Mills, that is NDC. He's of the opinion that, look, they will win by 53%. Hands down, one touch. Do you believe they can win?
Of course they cannot win. I mean, the thing about the NDC, what is the NDC message? I mean, what I gathered when I was in Ghana and what I've gathered all throughout the time is that the NDC has been going on the campaign of victimization. They have been going on the campaign of threats. And what they're doing now, they're trying to put state institutions on a state of alert. Now, they criticize the Electoral Commission so that subconsciously they begin to panic. They criticize the Ghana police force, so that subconsciously they begin to panic. They're saying that the state of the security of the nation is laxed. I mean, these are all actions of threat. Rather than coming up with policies, we have invited the NDC day in, day out to come up with their policies, and they're running mate. What does he say? It is an act of mediocrity. Now, you cannot, if you tickle yourself, you will not laugh. Somebody has to tickle you in order to laugh. And what the NDC is doing is just self-tickling. And that is exactly why I believe that they have to say that. Of course, Alex Egbufia is the campaign director, and he cannot say anything otherwise than to say that he will win. But as to what the indicators are for him to say that they will win, of course, that doesn't exist. If you look at all the opinion polls, if you talk to people in Ghana, you know exactly how Ghanaians are thinking. There is no way that we're going to go back